Yo. Could've went left, but it went right. Could've went wrong, but it went right. Said it was Ian, but it went right. Man will get bars on sight. MVP of the night. Tell a negative to positive. Headline in the
Jammer, it's a pleasure having you part of this series I call Selfmade. It's all about people who have influenced culture, who have done things on their own. And now I get the chance to sit down in the UK and talk to people who are influencers.
Thank you. It's a blessing, you know.
What does that mean?
It's a blessing means that we are blessed to be able to, you know, have these conversations now, bring these worlds together, you know, through culture, music, like nightlife, drink, whatever it might be. And like when I say it's a blessing, like I said, when I started this out, this vision was totally insane to even think that we could have done half of the things that we've done.
If you think about it from when you were younger, did you have a vision?
So I always loved music regardless, you know. I knew there was something there. But the vision more came for me when I saw people frustrated and couldn't find a way to become anything. You know, because where we grew up, it wasn't so easy to get into anything, and there was a lot of things going on that could be big distractions for you. You know, street crime, problems within, you know, the community that escalated and was repeating themselves. History was repeating itself. And me personally, I loved music so much, I kind of said, you know what, I don't know where I'm going with it, but it's going somewhere further, you know? It's going somewhere else. And now it's not just about the music, it's about everything. When I say everything, I mean everything. My main thing is to tell the youth that anything that you think of is possible to manifest. You know, and where we came from, those simple words was never ever said to us.
Which I find inspiring, because when I think about me, I wish somebody would have held my hand in the sense and kind of showed me. When did it turn for you, that feeling of, I want to give back?
So, without even knowing I was giving back from before, because I've always been a community man. So my mum and dad, they ran a community service which was called East London Rastafarian Information Community Services, LRICS for short, which helped people that couldn't read, couldn't write, couldn't fill in the job centre forms and stuff like that. And they would all come to my parents' house, and if they had a problem, they would speak to them and they would help them get past that problem, whether it was housing, whether it was job seekers, whether it was trying to get a job, and they would naturally do that. And I think where really giving back started was there was people getting in trouble in the area, knife crime, street crime, with the police and stuff. And you know, my mum, she said, if you don't want to make music and play music, you can do it in the house. You can stay in here and do it. Just don't be on the street corner. And that's when it started, because I could use that studio, the decks, the music, to kind of entice my friends to not be on the street corner. And before I knew it, we was making records, we was putting music out. It was going on a pirate radio station, it was playing, then all of a sudden DJs were demanding it. Then it grew very rapid and very quick. But we can even go to the giving back part after. This is so early that it was, you know, when people say organic and things are naturally, this wasn't something I thought out. I was a living purpose, a living testament to this stream of direction. Because a friend of mine said to me one day, I never saw him for about 10 years, and he came up to me, and the first thing he said to me was, thank you. He was the blind leading the blind. And when he said to me, I was like, yeah, because I didn't actually know the destination, but I knew there was something there for us, you know? And when I look back now, my main thing is like, even with the brand Lord of the Mics, what I do, it puts artists on that you've never seen, travel up and down the country, find fresh talent and put them on and put the spotlight on them. And when Kano and Wiley was early in the game, Wiley a little bit more known, but Kano, nobody knew of him. Spotlight blew his career through the roof. Same with Skepta.
You giving somebody else a chance at music, which feels better today, them or you doing your own music?
Them.
Why?
Because the vision, believing in someone and giving someone that little bunk up, that makes me carry on now. I think every time I do that, it makes my music better, it makes me, everything I do better. I think if there was more of that, everything would be better in general. And I think there's something about being selfless that is very powerful, that I think a lot of people are missing. One thing I've noticed about my career, a lot of people that I helped, I didn't make them sign any papers, I didn't own their masters. Everything that we done was, from the heart. And, I could pick up the phone and be like, yo, I'm doing this. And it's love when they come to support my thing, do you know what I mean?
You know that's not normal.
Normal? What?
It's not, it's not corporate.
It's not corporate, okay. Because the corporate, so, if you want to talk about corporate, when we was coming from, you couldn't have a video, you couldn't have a song on TV if you wasn't signed by a major. You couldn't get played on the radio if you wasn't signed by a major. You couldn't get into certain buildings if you wasn't signed by a major. This is the reason why I do everything I do. Because what I learned by the corps, when you are buzzing, they come in and get you, then they ruin you.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to do is I wanted to just be a testament of being able to do things yourself and be DIY and be independent and be successful, and also support people that are working with corps and also work with corps but on my own terms. So that was kind of my mission, to be a testament of, if you ask a lot of people now and in London, and I'll even say it now, Label Services was created off what my crew done. Boy better know, everyone around us, our whole group in the corner of people over the past 3 years, we sold more records than the major labels. When it came up on the pie chart, a lot of people had to look, who are these people signed by? They're not signed. This is just them. So I think sometimes you have to go out and do things yourself.
Yep.
To then be able to say, but sometimes you don't even have to say after you've done it.
Sure.
Because it's there to...
You've done it.
Yeah, I've done it, do you know what I mean? And not just me, my peers and people that are around me, it's all of us, do you know what I mean? But I think for me, leading and being so selfless from the beginning kind of inspired and helped more people to do that. And really now, if you look around, you got Dave, you got people like AJ Tracy, all these people are having independent successes, top 10. I remember being at a festival with AJ Tracy, it was me, him and Wiley. He said, what should I do? Wiley said to him to sign a deal. I told him not to sign a deal. He didn't sign a deal, he just had a top 3 album. And I messaged him the other day and he said, yo, I appreciate it, because somebody else would have been getting 80% of your money. You would have been getting 20%.
So what would you tell that 19-year-old artist who you think has huge potential, and he says, Jammer, give me 3 points of advice that I can learn from, that I can follow?
Believe in you at all times, because that's what's going to sell you. Because if you don't believe in you, who's going to believe in you? At any time, you have to believe in you. Even if there's a time when you feel like you don't believe in you, you got to just...
Because it's all you.
It's all you. You only have you. Stay true to your art. Never compromise your art. Never compromise yourself. And if it goes wrong and you fall on your face, get up and go again. And just to never stop.
Any of those 3 things you didn't follow as...
Sometimes I didn't understand that I am... Sometimes I didn't understand that I was blessed, and I'm always going to get to that place. I'm always going to overcome the problems, even if I'm feeling low at certain points in myself or in my mind. Or, when you work around so many big people with massive success, everyone, and people try to put you in competition with people, and is it because he's got a better car than you? Was he got more money? Does this? And all these other things come into what success is. When I first started to make music, my success to me was being able to make a beat. I was successful at making a song. When I made a song, it was to make somebody like it. then that was another success to me. Then it was to get a DJ to play. Then it was to hear on the radio. And then all of a sudden I'd done all those things. Then money came. Money was never in...
That was not the point.
That was never my point. I never even knew. When I first got my first check for music, somebody had to tell someone to find me, to tell me that this guy was looking for me to give me this money. So, and there was things that I really learned from that. Do you know what I mean? When you do something from a pure place, all the money in the world is going to come.
So I tell a story. I sat down and with the artist Rhapsody, and she tells a story how all she cared about was if she had gas money to get to the studio just to record, then she's happy. And for me, it hit home because for me, it's like it hit me one day, 6 years into what I'm doing. If I could just make a living, I don't need anything more than that, I'm fine. And I think that's the hardest point for people to understand. It's like if you could just be happy first, and then you'll get there.
Yeah, and it's strange that you say that because I've spoke to many artists about their situations and stuff, and for me it was more so trying to set people free. That's the crazy part about the grime scene, everything we built. There was no money. There was no money. It was just frustrated people that had to deal with real life, had frustrations, would go in this room, shout their frustrations down a microphone, out the speakers, and get that out. It was their way to vent, it was their therapy. And through that truth and through that therapy, people started to like it, resonate to it. The stories that they were telling through the mic about what they've been through was resonating. And what was happening is, because before grime, majority of people used to rap in American accents. And what happened was, there was a time when we started to rap like we speak, and that was the whole set of my kind of people that we come up with in the basement and building music. So when they saw like Dizzy Rascal saying, stop that, start that, get that, what? He's got a Nokia, take that. Saying, rah, that's me. That's me. Like, then you just, this rise of youth, just didn't matter what color they were just coming. And the dynamic of it was changing. And when I look back now, in hindsight, it was because it's honest. Everything about it was honest. It is what it is.
Was it that way for you?
Yeah. What we represent was we just lived our true honesty. You know, when I started to realize, okay, this is taking off and this is working for us, my first thing I thought was I need to tell more people. I need to let more people know that we're doing this thing. It's a home. This is a thing. It's School of Grime, whatever you want to call it. Come here, because when I left school as well, I noticed that the world was crazy. When I was in school, it was like a joke, like school. Then you leave school and you think, oh my God, this is real life. And yeah, I just saw a lot of things happen. I saw a lot of people die. One of my close friends, Slinger, we used to make music together. He was stabbed to death about, I would say, coming up to like 15 years ago, now in the early stage of my career. And when that happened, that's when I said, I'm gonna make this music work financially to save us and all this stuff. Before that point, I didn't think about it financially. I was just doing it. But when it got to that point, I knew that we needed to change our surroundings, we needed to move away, we needed to get money.
So I'm curious, you say we, not I. Who's we?
All of us.
Yeah.
All of us, you know? And you know what's funny that you said that? One of my friends, oldest friend, he said, one thing I've noticed about you, Jama, I've never heard you use the word I when we're talking about us progressing. It's us, it's we. And I think there's a big power in we.
Where'd you grow up?
In Leytonstone, East London.
Was that we, or was it larger than that?
Okay, so I'll explain a bit on that, why I'm who I am as well. So I would go to South London with my CD. you wasn't allowed there at the time. You could die. Seriously, it was turf war. But I'd go there. I got my music. Go to the club and Gigs. I don't know, you might have heard of Gigs. He's a quite renowned rapper here now. And he told me one of the first times he ever saw me was outside Caesars in South London. And I went there. I was in a group called Nasty Crew, which are like prolific early pioneers of the scene. And we was there spreading music, and he said, I'll never forget it. It's like, that's the first time I saw somebody as brazen and brave to just cross the border with no one and not fear anything. Because I was there to spread a positive message, you know? And then what would happen from that was I would know someone from over there. I know all the people now, and if they've got a problem, I'll pick up the phone. No, that's my guy. You lot, let's just go and make a tune and sort it out amicably. And that's when I say we, and that's why I think, you know, it's so strong, because it's always us. It's the same voice in a different hood. Doesn't matter where you're from. We could go to LA now. I'll meet someone, we'll click like that. It's like we've known each other for 20 years, because it's the same voice, it's the same thing. It's the struggle, and it's also the escape, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's a very key part about, you know, North, South, East and West. And then it was London at first, and then I started to go to Birmingham, Manchester and further out. You know, I had JK, which is an artist that I've been developing for quite a long time. And he was on Lord of the Mics. He just done the Drake show yesterday in Birmingham, in his hometown, which was, you know, put together by Tiffany Claver and myself. Managed to push that forward for him, and it's like, that's the type of stuff that, because I know where that's come from a positive thought process. That's come from me saying, okay, if I can do anything to elevate or bring extra power to whatever you're doing, that's what I'm going to do.
To me, and you're the minority in the sense of you're an artist with a purpose. I'm sure you don't see that with most artists.
Well, I come up off of Bob Marley. I come up off of Peter Tosh. I've come up off these Scratch Perry. These, you know, some of these artists, Tupac. You know, some of these artists, then they wasn't here just to sing and rap. They're spreading a message. They're showing you a way of life. They're showing you how to keep positivity in a world full of negativity.
Yeah.
They're showing you how to elevate, showing you how to be innovative. They're showing you how to think singular. You know, how to be effective by rebellion. You know, so I come from a very deep lineage of family as well, which stand for something. Like I told you, my parents was very heavy in the community, and my granddad back at home in Jamaica, he was, you know, a leader. So I could just do music and jump around. And there were stages of my career that I kind of came off the path and was just living and having, it was loads of Belaire, pop tits, you know what I'm saying? We've done that, I've done that. But there was a point of it that I said I can enjoy, but we need to keep that window where we have fun, but we also have a vision. Yeah, and we also have manifestation, and we also have to deliver, and we also have to keep working, and these are all things that come into.
So where did that come from for you? What was it that caught you?
So my dad was in a band. So when I grew up around music, he always had records. He had a stack, and when I was little, from 4, you know, I was EQing the like EQs for the sound and stuff when I was young. And from 4 years old, my mum's got pictures of me doing that. And then when I got to, I think, like 11, 10, I took all my dad's drum machines apart when he was at the house with like a screwdriver. And he came back and went ballistic, mental. And I said, no, don't worry, I just took it apart so I could see if I could put it back together. He said, are you crazy? I said, just give me an hour, I'll put it all back together without perfect order. He just gave me all the equipment. That day he gave me a Roland 909 drum machine. That was mine. And then I still never made a good tune on it. It was just playing around with it, but it was the first time I knew that there was something in this for me. I didn't know what it was exactly. And then I started DJing, became a big DJ in my area. I played all the hood parties. I was the like guy that, you know, you call him, he comes. I pull up with friends as well. Like I come with a whole party. And we used to do that. We used to do the DJ, my name was Jammer P. And we used to go and mix at everyone's party. And I'd done that for quite a long time actually. And that's what kind of built my organic name and buzz within the community, what drew people to me. But then I had enough of playing music. I wanted to know how to get in the record. Like I wanted to know how to, like I used to watch the TV, and I don't know if you remember, you must really do, the old TVs before plasma. You'd go around the back and it would have a little orange light shining in there. And I always used to wonder, how do they get in the orange light? Like I need to get in the orange light. And I always looked at the vinyl and I was fascinated, like how the needle and how it plays, and you turn it off and you can still hear it, but it comes out the speakers, and I was fascinated about it. And then that was kind of, that fascination drove me towards wanting to make music. And that's when I started to find out what I have to do to make music.
What do you think your big break was?
My big break, I would say, was I was making beats for a long time, doing stuff. I was getting a few meetings here and there. People was hitting me up, talking to me and stuff. But it was just whatever, do you know what I mean? Like people was hitting me. And I went to a meeting with a guy, a record label named LOTM Records. And they are renowned. They was part of building Mike Skinner's career. A guy named Mick Shiner's behind them, and they called me one year into the office and they were speaking to me, and I played them some music. And they didn't call me. I tried to get a meeting with them. I went and showed them some music and I was like, oh yeah, it's cool, but we don't know how to market it and we don't even know what this is called. Like, we don't even know where to sell this. It has no place on the shelf. That's like, at that time it was no place for it, you know? And I took that meeting, I kind of left that meeting very disheartened. And I remember going back home and I just thought, you know what, I'm just gonna make a shitload more music. And I kept making music. A year later, the same guy calls my phone. He says, yo, there's this tune that's going on, we got it on tape. Like, you need to come and listen to this tape and tell us what this tune is, because at that time you didn't know the ID of the track. It wasn't like Spotify where you get the click and it comes up and it tells you who the artist is and who.
He just wanted your information. He wanted your knowledge.
No, he wanted to know what he knew it was a Jammer record, but he didn't know what song it was. Yeah. Because they didn't used to announce the title of the song on radio and stuff. So I went in, he played the tape. It was the same song I was showing him a year before. Imagine that. And I said, you know, that's the same song I come and played you a year ago. He said, you know, we didn't understand it then, we don't know, but we want to sign this record. And it was kind of the quickest deal. I went home, they came back to me with paperwork the next day. I went and I'd done a single deal with them on that Locked On record, which was Army. And that was kind of the pivot at all start of my career, because people could, when they saw me with a deal and Locked On, which is a respected brand behind me, and the music I was making at the time, no labels were signing it. So it was like a total flip of everything, because garage, UK garage was in at that moment. It was like the bougie, you go, you drink champagne, you have moschino, you dance, you girls, like this stuff, what I was doing was total gutter, the flip side, like the sound of the street, the sound of what was really going on, the real sound of London, do you know what I mean? Like when you're driving and you're playing that in your car, you understand why the music sounds like that. And then I got offered a publishing deal from Mick Shiner, and it was like for 20 grand or something. I didn't want to take it. Me and my dad never spoke for like 2 years, right? Because like, you're not going to take this. I said, if they're offering me this now, what am I worth in like for 3 years? So I didn't sign that publishing deal. And I still haven't signed a publishing deal up to now. I still own all my publishing. And that was kind of the start of everything. And then after that, I had another moment, which was Merkle Man, which is what a lot of people know me for. A lot of people don't even know that I do this other, you know, what your stuff we're speaking about. They don't know. They'll be watching this thinking, you done this, you did. You know, they don't know. And I made Merkle Man. But Merkle Man was a defining moment. But I think one of the most important moments for me was I used to work for a distribution company named Essential Direct. They used to distribute all the music around the UK for garage artists. I used to work for them, and I was there, and I was taking in all the knowledge of distribution, finding out all the shops, how it works. And when I made my first independent records, before I done that deal with LOTM, that's how they knew about me. When I left that meeting, with the knowledge from the distribution, I set up my own distribution company. And I started distributing with a hot air promotion with my business partner named Ratty, who I own Lord of the Mics with now.
So how did Lord of the Mics get started?
Well, Lord of the Mics started from me. I had a camera, a little VHS camera that I used to run around with. And I just used to film fun stuff. And we always used to be rapping, playing around. And I had a little cussing match in London. A cussing match is like a slang, like a back and forth, diss cussing match kind of thing. And I had it with my friend, and I was watching it back on my camera, and I was like, there's something here. I don't know what it is, but there's something here. And I forgot about it.
This was in your house?
In my house, in the basement. And then there was a whole organically radio battles was happening. People was having musical confrontation and stuff was happening. And I just said to my Kano at the time, he was sitting in my house, I said, do you want to clash Wiley? He said, yeah. I said, all right, I'm going to try and make that happen. But Wiley was in America at the time. He come back and he actually, funny enough, the same day he calls me, he jumps off the plane. He said, yo, where are you? I need to speak to you. I just met Damon Dash. I gave him some of our music, whatever. Where are you? I said, I'm at the house. He came. As soon as he came, I whipped out the camera. I said, yo, we was talking about it. What, you want to clash Kano? He was like, yeah. That was it. I said, let's go to the basement and do it. And we went down there and we pressed play. And that was history, and that's how it started.
You posted it?
There was no social media there.
Yeah.
That didn't exist.
So how did you get it out?
Social media was made of
How did you get it out?
I pressed them on DVDs and went in the streets and markets from hand to hand and sold them from record shop to record shop, from car boot to hand to hand. People didn't know what rappers looked like at that time. You couldn't see what they looked like. All you knew was their voice. You had to guess what they looked like. That there alone was a start of now. We're at installment 8 going into 9 and 10, right? And we're doing much bigger deals, much bigger business. And that started because I was always just trying to create. No one knew what anyone looked like. So my whole thing was showcase, show. And we done the front cover of it and I put all their faces on it. So when he was going around giving it out, then they were phoning me like, yo, people are stopping me in the street. They know what I look like.
See it.
They can see it. They can put the voice to the brand and the name now. And that was it.
Does it make you feel good knowing that you're getting the artists out there?
Yeah, I think I truly believe that is why my career will last forever. It's longevity. Even when I'm not here, I will live on. What I represent will live on, And I'm still doing it now.
So what's next, Jammer? What's next? What do you see the next, whether it's 1 year, 2 year, 5 years out? What's next?
My next moves, I wanna own my own distribution company, major distribution, still independent but major distribution company. I wanna be able to give all these artists opportunities and deals where they don't get left over. They get to be able to build their catalogue, own their stuff, become self-made, become their own me, or their own Skepta, or their own Wiley, or their own whoever they are. I want to enable people to be able to be the best them. That's it.
Well, on that note, the show is called Selfmade, and truly, not only are you that, but I think the fact that you're willing to support everybody in your arena is amazing, because at least from where I sit, you're the minority, and I wish there was more people doing exactly that. So I appreciate that. Cheers, my friend. Cheers.
Thank you for having me.
Headline in the paper. Yeah, that's right. I thought it was Ian right, but I wasn't seeing right. Man could have had that fight, but I'm in walk on sight. Man had to grab that mic. You're not gonna spit this time. Trying to work with a good energy.